Hi, y'all. This is part two on my nursing journey. And in this section, I'm going to talk about the second semester at UMass Boston. A couple things I wanted to mention about previous semester. And if you had seen the previous video, that was all about my first semester, all the courses. I broke down the coursework and a little bit of my study habits. But it's also important that I note that there is a 6 week break. Crazy. It's a 1 year program and a 6 week break between your first semester and your second semester. So a lot of students they took that time to either work or go on vacation. I didn't. I had to catch up with a lot of the extra work that I missed because I had that hand injury. So that was a godsend for me to have that extra break, and I spent every single day doing something. So I didn't really have a break up until now. It's May, end of May, and this is really my first true break of nursing school that I'm not catching up on work. Also, first semester, you'll have your first clinical experience. I was at South Shore Hospital with Professor Julianne Mazawi, who is an amazing clinical instructor. She really had a amazing guiding, kind hand and introduced us to nursing. So, really appreciated her guidance. That was an incredible opportunity to work with her. So, if you go to UMass Boston, if you get Julianne, great. But you can't request instructors, it just happens. Okay, the next part. So, first semester's out of the way. You knocked it out. You got to go through all your classes, take the exit HESIs, make sure you get above a C plus. You get passing is B minus for everything. So you got to get that grade, or you're repeating classes. I want to talk about second semester. Now, classes this semester were whack. Okay, let's break it down. First one was 370. So this is a continuation of 270. So this is still working on your growth in the fundamentals of nursing, your uh, health, wellness, disparities, cultural diversity, um, consumer education, health promotion. Um, you go through even various topics, even like IT and informatics. It's not a difficult course, but it's a lot of writing. You have to do a 500 word paper every week. So it's not that big of a deal. But the lectures were very, very short. Or sometimes we didn't have any. It was just like a very short PowerPoint with voiceover slides. Never a video. Not a super challenging class, and the exams was so odd because it was open note and open book. So people would just look up the answers online and everyone would get A's. So that was a really weird class and I didn't care for it very much. The professor, she had a great background. She was very intelligent, but I didn't find that class like a great experience. Not at all. And then the second class we had was 371. And the name of that class exactly is. I have it here. Name of that class was Evidence Based Nursing. Totally whack. So you spend hours every week doing these prep you practice questions, which you're going to do that for every class. But with this class, she would assign hundreds of questions on material we haven't even read yet. And you know what students do? They just look up the answers for that stuff. So you spend most of your time end up looking up the answers for these through Quizlet versus applying material that you're supposed to be learning in class. And the lectures that she provided us were non-existent. It was PowerPoint. It was YouTube videos of evidence-based nursing, and it was like sometimes she'd give you the same video week after week, and a lot of TED Talk videos, which was interesting and all. But hey, I'm going to nursing school. I could watch these TED Talk videos on my own time. Like, throw me content that's going to make me a better nurse. So I didn't care for this class. It was a lot of busy work and not a lot of education. the biggest project of that course was to do a research paper, which took a significant amount of time. And unfortunately, the professor didn't give us any feedback on our grades. Like everyone got A's, so I put a ton of research into this carpal tunnel research paper, and I got like, great job, A. Where's the effort? So that was kind of whack. I should mention from the previous class, 370, the most interesting assignment we had on that was a policy paper and video. So you can check out my YouTube videos. There's a video that I created about opiate addiction, and did I call out Charlie Baker to provide like more educational tools about opiate addiction. That was interesting, and then I wrote a paper to Senator Elizabeth Warren about one of my topics. That was actually quite a valuable experience. But those two classes, 370, 371, not your most challenging courses out there. One of the professors was temporary for 370. She's gone on to greener pastures. 371 was probably the worst class I've had, just because it was just a terrible learning experience. We didn't even have a final for that course, actually. So it was just busy work. All right, so that's enough bad mouthing those two courses. The challenging courses, 372, 373. Those are following your pathophysiology route. So you're going to get a lot of content on like hardcore nursing interventions and pathophysiology, like really interesting stuff. You got to spend most of your time and energy studying for those classes. And again, the way we study for classes is watching, more content online, using Nurse RN. You can get subscriptions to like UWorld, or, taking practice questions from your book, reading the chapters. We don't spend a lot of time reading the material. Some of the courses we spent more time, like 370. We spent more time reading the book. 371, there was no book at all. That was just weird. 373, 372. Yes, read. You do got to do a lot more reading. Those classes were significant. My clinical this last semester was a solid placement. We were at St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Boston, and great experience with all the staff there. Like warm and welcoming. Most of the staff there was gave us like education. We had a pretty rough clinical instructor. Just her communication style was not what we were used to. Like disorganized, just very confusing. Um, she did not provide us with her expectations going forward, and there was a lot of confusion, a lot of changes last minute. It seemed like we were like, even though she had a lot of experience in the field, we don't think she had a lot of experience in med surg where we were, which the nursing staff didn't really appreciate because she wasn't really helping us much on the floor. But overall, I got through it. It was, even though there was less coursework, it was actually more stressful for me that second semester. Whatever. I'm done. I'm done. Like, passed everything. Did much better on the HESI this time around. My hands are way better. I am back to typing. Still can't write for longer than 10 minutes. But, the ability to be able to type more efficiently and use a mouse and not have to use my adaptive like software or my other adaptive devices to do papers and stuff was so helpful. I do have one weird nursing story I want to share with you guys. This is just like bizarre, and everyone's gonna have like weird nursing stories. So, well, first semester, I didn't really experience that many weird things, but one student, she stepped in poop because one patient was incontinent. It definitely got all over her. That sucks. But it happens, but it's also like unlikely it's going to happen to you. Um, in terms of what you wear when you're on like clinical, you have to get the UMass Boston scrubs. It's like a navy blue, well, a light baby blue top and then like a navy blue bottom. You have to have some type of wristwatch, and for shoes, you should have something that's like water resistant. So it's one difference between men and women. So all the females in our class were like, "Oh my god, what kind of shoes am I I gotta get? Oh, this pair looks so cute." And da da da. And all the guys were like, "I don't care. I'm just gonna wear running shoes." So I just wore running shoes. Not a big deal. But the weirdest thing that happened to me was this nurse comes up to us and she's like, "Who wants to see a straight catheter?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, cool. Let's go help out. That sounds like a good time. Not really a good time. Not great for the patient, but great learning opportunity for us." Unfortunately, this the light in the patient's room did not work, and very difficult to insert a straight catheter if you don't have a working light because you don't want to break the sterile field, and then the patient would be risked for developing a UTI, from a coli. And UTIs are one of like the most major ways people develop UTIs, and that increases hospitalization rates and healthcare costs. But anyway, so we're in this room and there's no light, and it just broke. So I'm like, "All right, no problem. I'll just use my cell phone light." And then I'm the cell phone guy, so I have like two lights, and I'm shining it like in the line of where we're supposed to insert the straight catheter. So it's me with these lights. It's the nurse opening up the catheter kit, and two other nursing students are there like helping to like because this woman was morbidly obese, so they had to like push her adipose tissue of her belly like up, and you have to do it with two people so you can visualize the the urethra. So it was a weird situation. It's like light guy, nurse doing the catheter, and the two nursing students like holding up the fat. So that was a little bit bizarre. It was weird, but with we were there to support the nursing staff, and it made her job, I think, a lot easier and safer because we were there and we're willing to learn. We're willing to do these experiences. It's so bizarre, like the light shining in. And one thing I did learn that if you are working with people that are morbidly obese and you're having trouble visualizing the urethra, um, if you're move everything out of the way and you can visualize like inside the vagina, if you have the person cough, the urethra would typically like blink a little bit, and that's how you know that's the urethra and you're not inserting the catheter into the vagina. So just a couple tips, a weird story, a little bit about my path. I've had quite a few people reach out to me, just ask me some questions about the program. Yeah, go right ahead. Again, my email is richr1985@gmail.com. If you're in Boston, even better. Good luck, everybody. And hopefully in 6 months, I'll be a nurse. I got to pass this semester, study for the board exam, get a job.